Andrew!
Wow, we're back!
We're
back
back
to this setup. Hello, everyone. Today we're reviewing Late Arrival. This review's arrival
It's late.
okay.
The
I'm
joke!
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in my tech outfit.
And I don't have a yellow sweater.
That would look terrible on you.
It really
Anyway,
would.
let's
Yellow's
talk
not my
about
color.
the reason we're delayed on this review is because Arrival.
Arrival had a weird release thing here, didn't it?
It wasn't mainstream enough to get a set day release everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that meant it didn't come to our rinky-dinky town out in the woods till...
It didn't come to our little podunk village.
So yeah, basically in 2015 we were like, man, the first Avengers was amazing!
Then Arrival happened.
That's how delayed it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's jokes.
There's some jokes we can make about this. But
So, Dan,
yeah.
first impressions on the movie.
I loved it. It was great.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm glad we agree on this.
That's the review.
That's all. No, the reason I like this movie is because it's a desperate need in 2016. Is something that's well thought out, something
Yes.
that has a twist, and something
Good twist.
Yes, that we won't spoil.
Until
Usually we
later.
don't care.
We don't care about spoiling, but this is one that will affect your viewing of the movie.
Right. So there
This
probably one time only.
Yeah, spoiler free.
We're gonna have spoiler free time,
Yes.
and then probably 15 minutes in,
Yes,
we'll talk about the spoiler.
We'll put it up down here somewhere
Yes,
to say.
well, you'll have to.
I will.
Okay.
Because I'm editing this.
That's right.
You're just happy
So I
with
don't
it.
have to edit it. Oh, Wyatt
Die.
says on my way. Shoot.
Well,
Whatever. The reason I like this movie is because I don't think, thinking back at it, there was a single
No,
space battle
that's rare in an alien movie.
or a single shot from outer space.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You're right. Like the only time I think we ever get anything remotely close to space is aerial, like a map of the planet.
Yeah.
But we don't see stars.
But there's never that like Independence Day shot of it flying over. They're coming to the planet. There was none of that.
It's more focused on just the interactions between the aliens and humanity.
Which I thought was extremely, extremely realistic.
Yes, one of the things I really loved about it is that it's not focused on, oh, it's us or them. It's more like, it's like, how do we get to the point where we can say hi?
Which is really, honestly, if this did happen,
Yeah.
that would be the first goal.
Yeah, if nothing...
How to say hi.
I mean, how do you communicate with the heptapod? That's what they're called, by the way.
Heptapods,
They're
yes.
called heptapods because they have 7 legs, and you don't really know... They don't have a... Well, they have a clearly defined shape, but it's not something that we can easily understand.
I love that they're not overly upfront about the design
of
the aliens. It's very subtle.
They do this thing that you see in a lot of... Like, in a lot of movies and games where they don't have quite the best CGI, so they do it simple. They keep it shrouded in fog most of the time, but it's effective. It leaves a really great sense of mystery to it. That
Exactly.
I love.
That's what you want to do. You have something that you want to show your viewers, but you don't throw it on the screen. It's not a Godzilla moment or a King Kong. There they are. It's just kind of
It's a very subtle, quiet expression.
So the basic plot of the movie is there's 12.
It's 12, yes.
12 different space pods that kind of look like lima beans.
They really do.
And they're made of rock.
They're made of some undisclosed, unidentifiable...
Because they're not like slick metal.
No, they look...
Like when they get up close to it, it looks like rock.
It looks like a rock of some kind.
Right.
Yes.
And they're suspending, and they say in the movie that they're not sending off any radio waves or radioactivity.
They're just kind of there.
Yeah, and there's no exhaust. So they're just kind of... exactly there, and they open up every 18 hours in these random locations. They're not like the world's most memorable, the what is it, the Grand Canyon, New York City, Eiffel Tower,
Bean pods in space.
Exactly.
They're very simple and
random locations.
Yes, random locations. One of the things I like that Jeremy Renner said, I can't remember his name, Ian, I think it was.
Yeah. Ian.
But he said something about trying to figure out a correlation between their locations and why they landed there. And he said something like, one of the things that we found and was that each of these spots had, like, had the least activity for lightning strikes. But then we also found that we also found it was because they played a certain 80s pop song the most. So we really could be guessing anything.
Like they had giant hit songs in these places.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no reason. There's no correlation.
There's no correlation. Yeah. It just is. Mm-hmm. And it's
and all the military guys.
Yes.
The primary focus is to ask them, why are they here?
What's the purpose? Yes.
Yeah, why are you here, and where are you from? Mm-hmm. That was their main questions. And they get Amy Adams, who's a linguist professional who teaches at a university.
And they get Jeremy Renner, who's a theoretical physicist.
Right. Which is smart.
Yeah. Those are the two people you want to tie to this.
Exactly. I would want my government to do that in this scenario. Because that's obviously something that the government would have to handle. Mm-hmm. And that, I'm glad, was their first impulse.
Yes. They were like, okay, like, Roger was just like, push the button, and they're like, no, bad Roger.
Right.
Let's talk to them.
And that's this whole antagonist and protagonist battle in this movie, is all the military guys saying, we must show we're gonna force.
We're gonna nuke at the kingdom come, basically.
Right, and show them how powerful we are, so they know, we won't go down without a fight and all that. Yeah. Which I think if there's anything to complain about in the movie, which there's very little, it would be the weak motivations of the military.
Yeah. One of the things that made, because I was sitting next to him in the theater, just like, really?
Yeah, you said that a lot.
I did, because there were some things that just annoyed the bejesus out of me. Mm-hmm. Because I know that to the average person, there's a lot of things to be worried about when it comes to aliens.
Yes.
But I'm pretty sure there's other things that you can just have that are a given. Mm-hmm. Like in the beginning of the movie, Forrest Whitaker, because he's an an Army colonel.
Right.
And he's coming to pick Amy Adams' brain before she's officially tied to the project to speak to these aliens. And, he just plays her...
An audio file of the heptapods.
Exactly. And he's just like, what can you make of that? And he's just like, I can't do that just by listening to it. You can do it with Farsi, and because we can speak Farsi.
Yeah, Amy Adams' character did work for the military earlier, like a couple of years before the movie.
Trying to decrypt Arabic and Farsi stuff, and
which are real languages,
stuff that me and him could learn because our bodies aren't like.
She makes that point too. She says, "I knew the language." Yeah. Like I could translate it, and then he throws down alien race language and says, "You didn't need to be there," because she says, "I would need to be there to understand it."
Yeah.
She says, he says, "You didn't need to be there for the Arabic," and that's when you were like, "Yeah, come on, you can't be that dumb."
I know that there's kind of I think there's some kind of stereotype that government officials, even in the military, are idiots. I think.
Or war hungry.
Yeah, it's like
blow them up, kill them.
The CIA guy and the Chinese were really like that in that movie. It's like, dude,
the Chinese thing I could understand.
That was the most realistic thing about this movie. China's bloodlust.
The pod that lands in China, as they're at first, all the different people camped out at the pods are communicating all around the globe. Russia, China, Pakistan.
And they're all getting different things.
Right. They're learning different pieces of information and sharing it with each other. But then China gets the words that they translate through these circles that the aliens speak with.
This is going to sound like a joke.
Oh.
But it's the best way I can describe it. They basically communicate through Rorschach tests.
I don't know what that is.
Like ink blots.
Yeah, they are ink blots.
That's the Rorschach.
Okay, I was gonna say tattoos.
That too.
They look like tattoos.
Rorschach tattoos.
They look like some kind of meaning tattoos.
That was one of the things I thought was the most interesting. Was every time it was going to Amy Adams, just studying these really intricately designed circles. Like, I want to meet the guys who made these things.
Right.
And just she's marking all these things. Like, it looks like this one's curved up a little bit upward. Maybe that's a question mark. And I was like, oh, I want to know more about how linguistics works. This is amazing.
They explain in it how the heptapods look at our language as a missed opportunity because the circles never start or end anywhere.
They just
in their
express feeling.
So you can explain 2 paragraphs of information in the same amount of space as a 2-word answer.
Yes.
As in, the best way they described it was writing a sentence start to finish with both hands and meeting in the middle and knowing how much space you'll need.
It was beautiful how they explained it.
Right. It is like a really capable language because of its efficiency, and there's no start and beginning, and that's because
they get down to really the brass tacks.
Right. The aliens' concept of time is non-linear, which I love diving into. But yeah, the problem, I think, if there's anything wrong with the movie, it's that those military guys are kind of the cliche of, we are the military, we must blow them up. I mean, I feel like most military men in real life would have been like, okay, well, we don't know what the object is made out of, so if we throw a nuke at it, I bet you nothing will happen. Because, you know, if they traveled through light years of space, like, they probably have figured out how to defend themselves.
Pro tip for anybody who happens to work at Langley or something, but who's watching this, which I doubt, but
maybe
if an alien has mastered space travel to get here, they probably figured out nuclear engineering. I don't think they're gonna get scared by a fat man or little boy.
Also, they're a rock.
They're a rock.
Their ship is made of rock, which a nuke could do some stuff too, but I don't think they're in any sort of danger.
It would chip off some dust.
Right. So,
and then it would hold out a sign that's like, "Go away."
They'd hold out signs with the circles, and it translates to "Nice try." You know, it won't work. It's like, and they've probably studied us a bunch before they got here, so they know for certain what we would use against them. It likely anything we have on this planet would fail.
Yeah.
You know, they had like shots of the tanks in China and Russia, like driving up, like.
I mean,
you're gonna send a little bullet to that giant boulder in the sky that's running off of mysterious power?
That's running off of, like, freaking Doctor Strange dark energy or something?
How do you know it's not like a reverse shield so that when you shoot at it, it just bounces right back and
these aliens could be playing the game of whatever, bounces off at me, sticks to you.
Exactly.
Except this whatever bounces off to me just annihilates you.
To me, it seems like China and Russia would just go to attack it, and not really think about maybe they figured that out. But
I think I just liked every different interpretation of the language and how. Like, one of the things I liked is Amy Adams seeing the footage of the Chinese talking to the the heptapods.
Yes,
but they're not doing it in the way that Amy Adams and her team are doing it, because what they're doing is getting down basic phrases so they can get, progressively getting to a point where it's like, all right, so this is an Ian, or this is Ian. We are humans.
That's our name. And we are all humans, but we have names specifically.
Yes. And what the Chinese were doing was trying to have a conversation through a game. And she points out how that's a downfall because it makes it very oppositional. It makes it very much
win-lose.
Yes. And it's like,
And that's how you mess up words like...
tool and weapon.
Tool and weapon.
Which is a conflict.
Which is a bad word to mess up on.
Yeah.
Jump cut. Wyatt's here. Anyway, weapon and tool is something you want to get nailed down. And China was trying to rush to the point of...
Die.
Why are you here? Why are you here? And since the aliens repeat back to them, not completely understanding English, to use weapon...
China was just like, oh, no.
China was like, what? And it's like, China, if
it wanted to kill us, it would have done it.
Why would they be waiting around if they intended on using a weapon? But China didn't think through it, which to me makes sense because they're like,
that's realistic.
It's showing up, and a lot of people think it's the end of the world, so they're looting, and a lot of people think it's the rapture, which I'm like, what? And then essentially the world's flipping out about it.
I'm pretty sure that if it was a rapture, it would be like Doom.
It wouldn't be like
Doom Marine.
A couple large pods in the air.
Yeah,
isn't enough to say it's the end of the world. But they treat it very royally in the beginning of the film, which I like.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What are you doing? Looting.
Wyatt's looting our technology over there.
Yes.
Anyway,
Taking both
so explain how they treat the alien ships in the beginning of the movie, which I really like.
They basically essentially they treat it as like almost like pretty much a all-around hazard, because it's like, all right, we don't know what's going on. We don't know if this is going to be like some bacterial infection or anything like that. I mean, when they're going into it, which was one of the coolest things I've seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going into it like hazmat suited up and everything.
They lift them up because they're hovering.
Yeah, and one of the coolest things is like because this hatch is at the bottom of the bean
The
pod.
giant lima bean.
The giant black lima bean.
Right.
And it goes up and it shows one of the people like, break a glow stick and throw it up and it lands on the wall like
The gravity changes.
Yeah.
Within the. So yeah, China. If they figured out gravity,
yeah.
I bet a nuke's not going to do much to them.
One of the things
yeah.
I thought was funny was how Jeremy Renner's talking with a guy in Australia or something like that,
Uh-huh.
and he says something like they seem to thrive on the complex behaviors that we have, but they can't understand our algebra. And I'm like, preach.
A lot of humanity can't understand our
Yeah.
algebra anyway. But yeah,
Which kind of serves to have that whole alien vibe go both ways, and I thought that was
yes. So this is a character-driven movie, not a war movie.
Yes.
I don't think there's any battle scene. There's no shooting.
great. You hear shooting at one point,
Right.
and the only explosion.
But it's not between
Yeah.
aliens and people.
No, it's between people.
Humans tearing each other apart over what to do about the aliens, which I think would be way more accurate.
Yeah.
If they came light years to visit us, I don't think they would just show up and then kill everyone.
They'd probably be like, why are these guys shooting themselves right now?
To get to that point, they probably had to learn how to cooperate with each other
Yeah.
before they get there. Or you could look at it at the Klingon perspective and say they would come to the planet and conquer it like Vikings
Yeah.
but I think they would have started with that, not hovered for 2 days. But what I was gonna say is at the beginning of the movie, it's amazing because they never show the ship
Yeah.
when it's on TV. It's just everyone's reaction, which was really well done. Instead of just flashing at everyone's like,
Yeah.
they're here.
Yeah.
You don't.
Inception noise.
Yeah, you don't get a good look at it until Amy Adams gets to it.
Yeah.
That's when you finally say, oh wow, this thing is
It's like, dang.
enormous. And they get in there and gravity's different and all that, and they have a little bird.
It's all a very well done movie, and just
Mm-hmm.
it gives you a nice sense of mystery, and like in a way
It's just
that leaves
good
you
storytelling.
Yeah, and in a way that leaves you wanting more.
Yes.
Like if they had explained too much, you would have lost some of the wonder of it all.
Right. To where anytime the aliens, when they walk up to them and they're in this like glass barrier with a bunch of white smoke, and that's kind of like maybe that's their atmosphere, how they're able to support themselves. They can't get used
or maybe
to
that's a way for their method of communication to actually hang in the air.
Sure. Yeah, because it's through ink. You guys made me ink. It's that. But
Yes.
now we're gonna get into spoiler territory
All
because
right.
I think we've covered everything spoiler free. So if you haven't seen it yet,
Stop now.
stop now. Sorry, Wyatt.
God!
The big spoiler
The big spoiler.
is, I guess I can't really explain it in one sentence. You have to move into this slowly. Is
Now, okay. I'll take this.
okay, go
Now,
for it.
what happens throughout the movie? At the beginning of the movie, we get a small montage of Amy Adams' life and
With a kid.
with her kid, with
daughter.
her daughter.
Mhm.
And then she makes it clear that this is where her story starts, and this is not where her story starts.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts just as everybody's reacting to the pods coming down and all the whole 15 minutes, 20ish about and all that stuff.
Well, they're showing footage like
Yes.
flashbacks of her with her daughter,
Yeah,
and then
this-
her daughter going. And she said, "I love certain moments," and they show her having a great time. The moment she was born,
Yes.
when she's in a hospital, and then they show her as a teenager saying, "I
Like,
hate
yeah,
you."
the natural-
and she's saying there was the bad times too, and then they show her shaven head and her
Implying
getting
cancer
chemo
of some kind.
Yes,
yeah.
and then her final moments with her, which is really.
It was beautiful.
It was a lot to take in the first 15 minutes of a movie.
Yes.
And you're learning all this, and then they cut to her after she's passed away
Yes.
and all that at the college, and that's when the whole alien thing starts.
Yes. And as the movie progresses, these cuts to random parts of her life with her daughter.
They keep coming.
They keep coming at you, and you're wondering to yourself, what in the hell is going on here?
You did that several parts in the movie.
I did.
Where they would be talking to the aliens, and the first
Jump
time
cut!
the first
Yeah.
time you see them, they're coming out of the smoke, and they like lean over to Amy Adams and say, "Okay, it's now time for you to begin." And they're going, and they're making
Yeah.
their noises, and then it cuts to her with her daughter again. You're like, but I wanted to see what's
Yes.
happening.
Yeah.
Like,
And I
wait.
did. Before the twist happened, I wanted to see this happen, to see what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But once it was all revealed what was going on, it made everything worth it. It just obliterated how I perceived the rest of those random cuts, because he already mentioned it before, and he was saying that they see time non-linearly.
Right.
And that's what's happening to her. She's like, this is the big spoiler, so
Wait. You got to set it up first.
okay, so you set it up for me, man.
Okay, I will set it up. The setup is, first of all, a bunch of rogue soldiers, part of the military, decide to, very stupidly,
Yeah.
place a bomb in the conference room area where they talk to the aliens,
Video
thinking, because this is after they said use weapon, so they're looking at as a threat. So they put a bomb in there and
because
say...
that's gonna do something.
Yeah, because they haven't figured out C4.
They figured out how to not emit anything.
Right.
So clearly explosives are their weak point.
Yeah, that's the weak point. So they put the bomb in there, and then Amy Adams, without permission, says, we need to explain to them what a weapon is so that they don't get confused and the world doesn't panic like it is already. China's already quit, and it's like, screw them up. And they go up in there to try to talk to him, and the bomb goes off, but before it goes off, the aliens are able to push Amy Adams and Louise and Ian, sorry, I should use her name.
Yes.
Push through the door and save them from the blast.
Yes.
And
But
when the blast happens, they move away from the Earth because they're scared. They're like, I'm going to
just
give a little
like-
space.
There's like, no.
And luckily, neither of them was hurt very bad.
Right.
They wake up, and Louise is like, I need to talk to them somehow. And they're like, how are you going to get up? Louise goes outside and is like, I need to talk to the aliens.
Yes.
Okay, because everyone's trying to cut it off and they want to start a war.
Right.
And a little rock pod flies out, comes right down in front of her. She gets in it and it takes...
You forgot to mention the part where just prior to the explosion going off and it knocking him back, it all of a sudden, like, they all of a sudden throw up like every symbol they could throw at.
Yes, they fart all the information in the
Pretty
whole
much,
language on this,
And
on the glass.
they get a picture of it.
Yes.
Which they, Jeremy or Ian starts to decode and whatnot.
Very high res photo.
Very
They do a lot of zoom and
extremely
enhancing.
high res photo.
Yes.
I
But
mean,
they probably would have that there.
with the CIA in the pocket, yeah.
They would do it. So yeah, they get all that information. She gets on the pod, and the pod takes her up there. And now she's not on the other side of the glass. She's in the room with them.
Yes.
In the white gas, and she still can't see very much. And that's when she tries to talk to the aliens, and it's sending the logos, and she says something along the lines of, why are you here? Do you mean to destroy us? And they explain it's a gift.
Yes.
We want to give
because
our language to humanity.
and because in 3,000 years we're gonna need humanity's help.
Right, which is like, what? It's like they know in 3,000 years humans are going to help us, which was fascinating. And then they're doing another flashback to her as a kid, and then she says, who is this child?
That thing will not stop going off.
She says, who is this child?
Yeah.
And that
And
is
it's like-
the key moment you realize these haven't been flashbacks.
They're flash forwards.
They're to the future of when she's going to have a kid, and she already knows that that kid's going to get cancer and die. It's the sudden realization. Oh my god!
And her brain is starting, like, I believe that Ian
Once-
said it was some kind of code that once you see it, it actually starts to.
Once you can read their language,
Yeah.
you can think the way they do and think in time non-linearly,
It's-
which becomes helpful later.
Yes, very much. So.
Which was trippy.
That was it's
Explain how it becomes helpful later in the movie.
now the thing that's going on right now is China's about to attack stupidly, and it's flash forwarding to a moment in time where none of that happens, and she's actually talking to the leader.
It's like a peace rally.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
like a peace
at
rally.
a party.
Like there's flags, and one of them
Yeah.
is a heptapod
symbol. Yeah. So
And-
it's the future.
and she's talking to the lead Chinese guy, who's
Prime Minister of China
Prime Minister, yeah.
walks up to her and is like, "I'm so grateful to finally meet
Yeah.
you in person
And she like,
for what you did that day
and she's just like, "What did I do?" And he says, "You called me." And
with my personal number."
With my personal number, and then
Uh-huh.
shows it to him. Or shows it to her.
And
It's
she's
"Yeah,
like,
you
"I don't
it."
know your personal number." He said, "This one. I thought I should show it to you."
Yeah, and he's just like, "I don't know how you think, but,"
And you called me
Mm-hmm.
and said my wife's dying words,
which he tells her
which
directly,
he tells
and that
whispers in her
he
ear.
feeds to her feeds to him through the phone.
And then in the past, she uses that number that she sees from the future to call him, and that's how the Prime Minister knows, holy crap, she figured out their species. And if she knows my wife's dying words, and she's on the other side of the planet, this person knows how the aliens work. That convinced the Prime Minister to call it off.
It's a beautiful sequence.
Right. It's like,
Once it clicks how... I just kept seeing that. I was like, fourth dimension!
Exactly.
That's... Oh my gosh.
That's fascinating to me.
That's extremely fascinating.
The fact that
it's so alien to how our brains perceive time that it's really interesting to see how it would kind of look in action.
Other life forms would have conquered time.
Yeah.
As in they can think non-linearly with that language, and that's the gift they're giving to humanity.
Yes.
So they flash back to reality. It was like regular, normal time, and the ships... they don't fly up into space.
No, they just fade away in the mist.
They disappear, and it's really cool because they're usually in like cloudy atmospheres. The clouds just kind of fill in the gap that they were taking up. So they flew into the next dimension, wherever that would have been.
Yeah.
Which is like, they got it. They figured out how to make an interesting movie. Because I really don't think that concept of sci-fi has been explored enough.
It really hasn't. We need more like that. God damn.
Yeah.
The only time I can think of seeing that concept of nonlinear like time and whatnot in a movie was probably in Watchmen, when it was like the small snippet of Dr. Manhattan explaining how he perceives time.
Okay, I haven't seen
But
that.
in that case, he was more of a puppet to it because he knew what was going to happen, but he couldn't really control it.
Right.
Like there's one part that actually illustrates it kind of well, because he says something to his ex. I think I'm not really sure how it goes at that point, but he's just like, he says something like, "In 30 minutes, you're going to tell me that you're having an affair with Dan, no less." It was funny.
What if I don't?
And she was just like, "You know," and it's like, "No, but you're going to tell me." And later on, she says something about it, like, "And you know, I'm having an affair with Dan." He's just like, "You're having an affair with Dan?" It's like, you know that it's like it's
trippy.
It's a really trippy but interesting concept that could be put into a lot more movies, and I don't think it would be a bad thing. Not every movie, but a lot more.
They show in the flashbacks before you know that they're the future, that the dad is not present in this family, and you find out later that it's Ian.
Yes.
The scientist, the
physicist
that they go up with, who they fall in love and decide to make a baby together. Yeah.
And the reason
he left because she told him
that
their daughter wasn't gonna make it, and that made him feel like I could understand that kind of, I don't want to commit to this child if we know for a fact she's going to die.
That's a terrifying that's a really,
I don't know if I could do it. That's a really tough thing.
Like, best years you'll have with a person of any kind, but you know they're going to die. And like not like
how could I do that?
Not like in an existential like, oh, we're all gonna die. No, you see it happen in your mind's eye, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yes. So great twist.
Well
thought out, well executed.
Great mystery and this subtlety to it.
And 2016 needed a movie like this.
2016 desperately needed a movie like this.
Everything's so meh this year.
Yeah.
Except Deadpool.
Except Deadpool.
For you.
Yes.
We had Doctor Strange.
And
we had Moana.
Suicide Squad.
We had.
Just the soundtrack.
Well, was Civil War this year?
Yes.
Yeah, that was meh.
That was me.
And
that was just an airport fight scene.
It was the top grossing film 2016.
Yeah, Transformers 4 was the top grossing film not too long ago. So I don't think it means much.
Anyway.
Finding Dory was meh. Secret Life of Pets apparently was meh.
Arrival was...
Ghostbusters sucked.
Yeah. Arrival was pretty much just a hope spot for good movies this year and next year too. I hope we get some more like
in
that.
Exactly 3,000 years. We need to make the sequel of Arrival,
and then when they
where the movies are told in circles. That's the script. We just stare at a circle because it's faster.
Circles. But yeah, this is that is our review of Arrival. And
check it out.
Seriously, it's such a good movie.
If you've already seen it, Watch it again
Yes,
because it's worth it.
it is worth it.
We saw it on Tightwad Tuesday too,
We
so
did.
it was affordable.
We're being economic.
But the economics is the key.